About. Okay, so we're rolling, and my name is Kim Weeks, and I'm so happy to see everybody here joining. I've got Dr. Terry Harris, who's a PhD in education administration and a childhood high school educator now, and I had the privilege of being part of a conversation that he was part of. My God, going on 2 years now, the week that George Floyd died, in which Dr. Terry absolutely knocked my socks off. That was a life-changing week for many of us, certainly for me. And when I listened to Terry speak from his soul and from his heart about the lived experience, his lived experience as a Black yoga teacher, and the founder of, I believe it's the country's first yoga studio exclusively for people of color, called the Collaborative STL. I grew up in Louisville, Kentucky, which is not that many miles east of St. Louis, and have long felt a connection to St. Louis. And that's where Dr. Terry is talking from. And he is the third in our series of fostering transformation conversations on what yoga and justice, what yoga and equity have to do with one another. And I'm going to be totally honest that I have been looking forward to Dr. Terry coming so much because of how real our connections, I feel, my experiences of our connections together, Terry, when we talk, and the future that we seem to, and I'm just speaking for myself, so please, that I hear us believing in the co-creation of. This is such a difficult conversation, and at Weeks Well, we have learned so much as we have sought to platform this conversation as, to be extremely frank, a mostly white-bodied, like majority cultured and very privileged group of people. I've been teaching yoga for 20 years. I did teach in Washington, D.C., right next to Howard University, on U Street and 14th, which has huge historical significance in this overarching political conversation, and have always felt that I have been investing in the stake and the future of a more inclusive country and a more inclusive world, not least because of changing my career to devoting it exclusively to yoga and mindfulness and wellness for everyone, or for as many people as this platform can reach. And so we've learned a ton, and here we are in a very intimate conversation, a very intimate exchange, where we are going to be able to actually see each other and talk to each other, and most important, learn from Dr. Terry. So Terry, I am just so grateful for your time and for your energy and for your wisdom and what you have to give to us. And I would have never known 2 years ago, during that awful period of time and week in the middle of COVID, and in the awakening that many of us who were walking around with the knowledge of, but had to confront the way we did that week that George Floyd died, and the love and the vibrancy and the grounding and the space holding that you were able to bring to that call sticks with me still today. And so I look forward to learning from you, and all of us on this call look forward to taking in as much as you have to give. So housekeeping for those on the call. First of all, have we decided to just take questions as they come? And Terry, are you as comfortable with people unmuting, or would you rather them just like filter it into the chat first, or how, do you have any preference on that? No preference?
No, I mean, we can you hear me well?
Yeah.
So we can, you can, if there are questions, we can pop them in, but we can just rock and roll.
Okay, great. So we can just rock and roll. That sounds great. And Alyssa, do we have the captioning that can go down at the bottom of the screen for Naomi? Is that possible for her?
Yes, it's actually showing on.
Oh, for her. Okay.
On my end.
Okay, great. It's not showing on mine. So I just want to make sure it's showing for Naomi. Okay, great. Okay, good. Well then, and so for those, so we are finding, as I've been telling you, Dr. Terry, that lots of people log into this later, watch this on YouTube. We spend a ton of time promoting these conversations. Oh, great, Naomi. afterward. And so, you know, it's not like we're necessarily looking for the clips, but I was also realizing that as we start, you know, the conversation, it could also well be that there's so much fatigue over suffering in the world right now, since there have been many places in the world at war. It's not like Russia's incursions are the first, but I wonder if there's a fatigue where it was just taking in a whole conversation like this is also difficult for people. So anyway, our exchanges and the sound bites that you give us and everything will all be good. And we just look forward to everything you have to offer. So thank you so much. I'm going to be on mute until I have to ask questions or whatever.
I think my computer was freezing up just a little bit, so I apologize. But I think we're ready. So happy Wednesday. I teach a yoga class on my day at the Collective is a Tuesday, and it's a 6:30 p.m. class. I start class every day by saying happy Tuesday. And I say that because I'm truly happy to be in a space with those individuals, and I'm happy to be in a space with you. I've been looking forward to this conversation for a while, and I'm pretty sure it's probably because of the many conversations that I've had with Kim. And you know, Kim can probably sell anything to someone, right? I mean, she's just that powerful of a person. So I really appreciate it. I appreciate being in a community with you all as well. Because it's a small group with us today, I think it will be great if we can. Actually, I want to present today the way that I would present to our students. I really want this to be a conversation as well as a practice. So when I'm with students in space, we get started every single class period by entering our voice in the room. And what I tell the students is, it's absolutely important that you say that your name the way that you want your name to be said, because there's something special about your name. So there's this wonderful book that's called Roots, and Roots is also a movie. And in this African tradition, when the baby is born, right, the male, the dad and mom are separated, the baby is born, right? The women of the village help deliver this baby. Once the baby is born, then the father comes and takes the baby and walks to the highest mountain in the village and present the baby to the universe, right? Behold, the only thing that is greater than yourself. And so when I tell the students that is your name, your name is an example of your parents taking you to the highest mountain in the village and allowing you to be seen in this community. Behold, Terry has entered the room. And we honor that. And so in that same tradition, I would like to get started that way.